Hello everybody! Once again we are back and we are doing another part of my Little Nightmares tier list series of the game's residents. So today we are going to be doing the Little Nightmares 1 residents and the Little Nightmares 1 DLC residents, Secrets of the Maw. So this should be pretty good. And to start off, I also have to announce the people who found the Golden Teacher from the last tier list video. So I'm going to put them on screen and I'm going to read them off. This comment is by Marto865J, who has the time code of where they spotted the Golden Teacher in my last video. So congratulations, Marto, for finding the Golden Teacher. And we can't forget Patient Dig 7998, who says, I found her! So yeah, very clearly found the Golden Teacher. So congratulations, Patient Dig. And if you want your comment to be read in my next video, just leave a time code of where you found the Golden Teacher in this video, and say whatever you want, and I'll read it. So yeah, let's get into the actual video now. So yeah, congratulations to those two. Okay, so, first of all, before I rank these son of a guns, I am gonna go back over here because I've changed my mind. I don't think the living hands should be, like, above the puppets. Nah, I'm putting those behind, The puppets were used a bit better than the living hands. Anyway, we can start the actual tier list now. First we have the leeches. Okay, leeches. They are the first enemies we encounter in the series, so I guess they have that going for them, but other than that, they are lame. I'm not even gonna lie, they are legit lame. F tier. Even below the nurses, honestly. The only interesting thing they have about them is that they can go faster in water. But, like, from a design standpoint, they're just black blobs. So yeah, they are the bottom of the barrel when it comes to enemies in these games. Okay, so next we have the Shoe Monster. Okay, Shoe Monster is actually surprisingly iconic. This scene is very, maybe not memorable, but it's definitely, a very interesting part of the game. So basically, you drop into this big pit full of shoes, and then you just randomly get chased by this... I can't even describe it because we don't know how the Shoe Monster looks, and I think that's honestly what makes it cool. We never see how this thing looks. So it's kind of like this mystery. Who is the Shoe Monster? And when it gets you, it just pulls you under the shoes, so we don't even know what it does to you. So, I like it. I mean, it's only used once. We just have to get from objects to objects. There's another enemy which does it way better than the Shoe Monster, honestly. So, I'm gonna put the Shoe Monster probably like, maybe like bottom of D tier. Are they better than the Beatles? I think just they have like a bigger mystery going on for them, you know, than the Beatles, because we see the Beatles in the game, but the Shoe Monster, we never see the Shoe Monster, so I'll put him above the Beatles. Okay. So next we have, Roger. Okay, this is an interesting one. So some would say Roger is the most iconic Little Nightmares enemy, because when it comes to thinking of, like, antagonists in these games, I feel like the first one that most people go to is Roger, because he is the first, like, major antagonist we encounter in the series. And honestly, he gets that job done. He is no joke. He is efficient. Which is surprising because he is blind, but he is super persistent in his game. And I really like his gameplay. It does the whole, you know, horror monster enemy that can't see thing. But it does it pretty well in terms of its AI. You know, it's scary. Like, sometimes you'll be walking, but then he'll hear it, and you won't know if he's gonna be walking in your direction or not, which creates really cool, tense moments. His design is iconic. I love his, like, long arms. I feel like it inspired a lot of other enemies we've gotten, which also has, like, you know, very exaggerated limbs and proportions, and yeah, I think he's really cool, and he's very memorable. So yeah, I really like Roger. And yeah, we only know his name because it's on his, like, name tag, which I also think is pretty cool. Other than that, he's just called the Janitor. So yeah, where will I put him? He definitely, at the very least, either deserves B or A tier. I honestly think, because he's so iconic, he definitely deserves A tier. Honestly, he is very cool. I literally like him a lot. Below Finman, though. Bottom of A tier. I think that's good for Roger. Okay. So next we have the Twin Chefs, because they are a unit. They go together. And honestly, they have some of the most dynamic AI in the series, but design-wise, let's be real, these guys ain't scaring anybody. They're goofy, and I think their sound design is really good. That can scare me, but their design, so come on, look at these guys, look at these, like, they're not that scary looking. But, I I mean, I do like that, you know, it's very evident that they are wearing masks, so we never really get to see how their faces look, unless you, like, look into, like, I think the game's, pictures. I think there are pictures of the twin chefs when, like, they were children, I think. We might have to do a lore video on that, honestly, but, in terms of designs, not that interesting, honestly. But in terms of gameplay, there are some of the best gameplay we have gotten in the series, stealth-wise. Their environments are super open, which is really good for this kind of game. And I just really like how many different routes there are to go, and like it really shows like how much these games can open up if the developers just do it. If they just make the environments bigger and the stealth sections more like dynamic, they can do some really cool stuff with the gameplay. But for some reason, they always stick to these really linear like sections that it's just you know, it's disappointing. I wish we would just get more stuff like the twin chefs in terms of gameplay. And I do like that they also check under objects. It shows that, yeah, these are people, and people, it's a strong word. I mean, I don't even know what these guys are at this point when you go into the nowhere. But it does show that they are an entity that is actively searching for you instead of just, you know, doing its daily stuff. So, twin chefs, they are good. I would put them probably in B tier. Above the viewers, definitely. Above or below the hunter? Hard one. I don't know. I like the hunter more. I like the hunter more than them. I'll put them below. I put them below the hunter. Okay. The guests. Okay, the guys which obviously inspired the herd. The guests are they're okay. I don't dislike them. I mean, I know, you know, in terms of the game's story, you know, they gotta be there because they're a massive part of Little Nightmares 1's story about the mall and who's coming to the mall, who's eating all this food, ooh, the mystery. But in terms of the guests from a design standpoint, they're just big dudes. They're fat people that are walking around and they crawl after you, which I like. I do like that they like sort of crawl after you in gameplay. The herd, we never see the herd like crawl like the guests because they're not nearly as aggressive as the guests. But the guests, these guys have an appetite. They are hungry. So I do like how like scary that makes them at points because they are freaking relentless in their chase scene. I think their chasing alone is saving them from like D tier, honestly. Their chasing is so good at the end. It is the most chaotic shit we have gotten in these games. So, where would I rank them? Well, I said that saves them from D tier. So it's either C or B. Definitely not B, but probably like somewhere in C tier. Okay, it makes sense to like put them like around the herd. So are they better or worse than the herd? Honestly, it might. I don't know if people are gonna agree, but I think I like the herd more than the guests. Honestly, they feel more prominent, the herd, in their game. The guests only come at like the very end of Little Nightmares 1. I think the guests have like better like gameplay because they chase you more, but I don't know. I think the herd, I empathize with the herd more because I feel like the herd, they're like going for like this like horrible cycle of like, you know, like there's the candy factory and the carnival. I may have to do like a lore video on that and like what I think that is, but I think the herd just have more going for them story-wise. Okay, the red's not in frame. Okay, we have the lady, the headless lady. So is the granny. So is the granny. They're not in frame. Why is that so funny? Okay, the lady. Okay. I think a lot of people like the lady because like she's creepy and all, and she's at the very end. But honestly, I don't think the lady's that good. Design-wise, she's okay. She's the final enemy in the game, but she's just a tall lady. Honestly, that's all she is. I do like her mask though. Her mask makes her look cool. If only you could see it in this picture. If only you could see it in this picture. But gameplay-wise, this is my biggest issue with the lady. She ain't shit for gameplay. She is not in the gameplay at all in Little Nightmares 1. And don't even say. I know what you're gonna say. Oh, but the DLC ads are back. No, it does not. Maybe story-wise, but gameplay-wise, she's just standing in one room for like the entire gameplay of like the residence part of Secrets of the Mall. She doesn't do anything. She just stands or she chases you and her final boss. That's her only memorable moments. She chases you once, by the way, and it's just running right. That's all you do in her chase. I do like her whole mirror thing. Like, oh, she's like being tortured by like these mirrors. Maybe that connects to Mirror Man. Interesting lore stuff, but other than that, she's just a mystery. That's all she really is. She's just a one big mystery, like the shoe monster. And because she's one big mystery, she's probably either going in D or C. I don't think she deserves D, honestly. Because, like, she is the big bad of her game. And you know what? She can be creepy at points. She can be scary. And I think because she's like genuinely like creepy, because like that part where like the door closes and you're like surrounded by mannequins, that shit's scary. I think like the first time you play it. So probably maybe like the back of like C tier. Yeah, probably like the back of C tier, the very back. Okay, finally, Secrets of the Mall stuff, and honestly, we didn't get many new stuff in Secrets of the Mall because honestly, it's just Roger again, honestly, for most of that. So first we got the Granny. Oh, the Granny. Okay, Granny's up there is one of the like most like tension striking ones. Design-wise, she's a little silly once you take her out of the water, but she's in the water most of the time. That's the point. We don't see her. But she's a little like creepy looking in terms of her lankiness, but I don't know, I think the face is just on her model, I think it's just a big goofy, and I wish I could see it so I can probably like picture it right now, but look at it, the head's cut off, so I'm just working with this. So, in terms of the Granny, she is very scary, when you're like in the water and you're swimming and you know she's like right behind you and you just have to like, it's just a rush to getting to the objects, and the way the music like tensions up like as she's getting closer. That stuff, that's some good stuff right there. It's done way better than the Shoe Monster because she's used at multiple points. And her death at the end is a really cool way of just ending off her character and ending off probably a very scary part of Little Nightmares 1. I think swinging those waters and getting chased by her, it is some of the most tension I've ever felt while playing these games. So for that, she definitely doesn't deserve D tier. I think I would at least put her in somewhere in C tier or B tier, honestly. And I think I would put her like probably in like maybe like the middle area of C tier, or maybe like higher than the bullies. Is she higher or below the bullies? That's the question I'm asking right now. For now, I'll probably put her like above the bullies because she's way scarier than the bullies. Okay, and the last one we are doing today. Okay, so now we have the Shadow Children. This is an interesting one. I don't think people are gonna agree with me, like, at all in terms of what I'm about to say about them. But I think these guys are scary. I hate them in the best way possible. I'm pretty sure throughout, like, the Residence chapter, we see these guys, like, running in, like, the shadows. And the ambience in that chapter, oh, it's so good. It's such a cool, like, I'm pretty sure hub levels is what we call them, because there's some levels in, like, Little Nightmares where we're in, like, this big hub, and we, like, just, like, slowly unlock, like, the doors around us and get through, like, one big door and stuff like that. It's almost kind of like survival horror if you think about it, but much more simple. And I really like those parts of Little Nightmares games. But in terms of gameplay, it's basically the patience again. But design-wise, the Shadow Children, they're super simplistic. They don't really have much going for them. But in terms of that fear, not knowing when they're gonna like run up on you, they have that. The patients don't. I mean, you don't know when they're gonna come alive, but once you play the game, you already know which ones are gonna come alive. It's no longer a surprise. But with the Shadow Children, they just spawn like random areas from the darkness, and you have to solve these like really long-winded like puzzles while being like pursued by them, and that is some of the scariest stuff for me. Like it just keeps me like watching my back, and I just don't know when one of them are just gonna run up on me, and the way they like freaking like possess you when they kill you, I'm pretty sure like they like freaking like tackle into you, and if I remember correctly, and yeah, that's some scary shit. But you do like destroy them when you shine your light at them, unlike the patients. So I guess that kind of relieves the tension. But honestly, there's so many of them, and it's so overwhelming. So I think, like, I guess the patients also have that going for them, but I don't know. I think the Shadow Children are scarier. I think, I don't know, something about them. So where am I gonna put them? I don't know. It feels weird putting these guys in B tier, honestly. So I'll put them at the very top of C tier, because like design-wise, they don't deserve like to be like up there with like any of these guys. But in terms of pure fear factor, I'm gonna put them above Monster 6. No, not above Monster 6. Monster 6 is like the big final boss of Little Nightmares 2, and her design is like really cool looking. A bit too inspired off Roger for my liking, but I do think she's like very cool. So I'll put them below Monster 6 at the very least. And I'm pretty sure in the last episode I did, I'm pretty sure I had the audio and the video a bit off sync, and I think you can tell when watching that. I'm gonna try not to make that same mistake when editing this time, so I'm sorry about that. So hopefully everything will be in sync. I'll make sure this time. And yeah, if you saw the Golden Teacher, leave a comment of where you saw her. I'll read your comment in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye now. Like and subscribe, pretty please.